hydrologist named Ward Phillips is in the area to study land for a possible dam when he sees Lavinia performing a pagan ritual. She is praying for her mother's cancer to never return. One of the items she uses is her grandfather's compass. Ward talks with her for a short time, and Lavinia starts to feel attracted to him. Afterward, she rides her horse, Comet, back home. Her family lives on an alpaca farm, which they moved to after her mother's mastectomy to begin again. Her father, Nathan, is upset that Lavinia left without telling anyone. Her mother, Teresa, tells her to go find Benny. Her brother Benny is in the barn as usual, secretly smoking. When they return to the house, they see their youngest brother, Jack, looking into the well because Nathan told him it could show stars. Inside the house, Teresa is having problems during an online meeting because the internet keeps failing. She asks Nathan to fix the satellite dish, and he says he will do it later. That evening, Nathan and Teresa try to reconnect as a couple after a long time of no sexual intimacy due to Teresa's illness. Benny later looks at star maps on his computer with his dog, Sam, beside him. Suddenly, Sam starts whining and the computer screen glitches. A bright glowing circle appears in the sky, and Jack hears strange sounds. He gets scared and calls for his parents, but they don't hear him. Jack leaves his room and sees Sam growling in the hallway. Bright colors suddenly cover the farm, followed by a powerful flash of light that makes Jack scream. The light vanishes, and the family rushes to find Jack frozen and unresponsive. Sam runs outside, and the family follows him to find a glowing meteorite in their field. Nathan says it smells terrible and tells everyone to stay inside. They argue about taking Jack to the hospital, which is far away. Jack suddenly snaps out of it and says his head hurts. Teresa lets him sleep with her because he's too scared to be alone. The next morning, the mayor and sheriff arrive to see the meteorite, with Ward close behind. Nathan explains what happened and complains about the smell. Ward confirms it is a meteorite. The mayor asks the sheriff to take photos and says reporters will come later for tourism. Ward stays to examine it more closely, and Nathan sends Lavinia inside because he doesn't like how she acts around Ward. Inside the house, Teresa teases Lavinia about her crush, making her embarrassed. Lavinia hides in her room. Teresa follows to apologize, but Lavinia can't hear her because of her headphones. Feeling ashamed, Lavinia cries and pinches her hand to distract herself from her emotions. Outside, Nathan stops the meteorite check because it is time to milk the alpacas. Ward asks if there's anyone else he can talk to, and Nathan tells him about Ezra, a strange hippie who lives alone and never leaves his place. Benny takes Ward to Ezra's house, which is covered with cameras powered by solar panels. Ezra gives Ward a glass of water that looks brown. Ward smells something strange from the water, but Ezra says it must be rust from the pipes. Benny mentions that the well has had problems before, but Ward says it should not be happening at this time of year and decides he needs to run tests. Just then, a storm begins, and lightning strikes the meteorite on the farm, creating bright and colorful sparks. Later that night, Ward is in his tent working on his tests when his radio suddenly stops working. His phone rings, but all he hears is static and a sharp screeching sound. He then hears noises from the forest and sees strange lights floating nearby. Before he can react, his truck turns on by itself, and the radio starts playing music again for no clear reason. The next morning, Teresa and Nathan see that the meteorite has completely vanished. They also notice strange new flowers growing near the well that they did not plant. Soon after, reporters arrive, and Nathan gives an uncomfortable interview that the family later watches on television. Everyone laughs at it, but Teresa is quiet as she makes dinner. She suddenly enters a strange trance state and keeps chopping vegetables even after cutting her fingers. Jack sees this and calls Nathan. Teresa does not stop until Nathan pulls her outside and takes her to the hospital. The next morning, Benny wakes up early to feed the alpaca. When Lavinia wakes later, she finds the alpacas loose and eating plants in the garden. She gets angry at Benny for not feeding them, and she does not believe him when he says he already did. Benny has to lead the alpacas back into the barn. At the same time, Jack hears the strange screeching sound again. He sits near the well and starts whistling at it, noticing even more flowers growing around it. When Lavinia asks what he is doing, Jack says a man in the well is talking to him. Lavinia suddenly feels sick and thinks she hears whistling too, so she runs back inside. Nathan tries to call her, but she only hears static noise on the phone. Later, Jack is drawing a strange creature in his notebook when he hears a noise from the well. He looks inside and sees a glowing organism opening up and releasing a powerful burst of colorful light. A bright insect with the same colors comes out of the well. Inside the house, electronics begin to fail while Lavinia is washing dishes, including the knife still stained with her mother's blood. For a brief moment, the colorful light appears again, and bloody water starts filling the sink. Lavinia gets another call from her dad, but this time, it is also just static. The sound makes her feel sick, and she runs to the bathroom to throw up. While this is happening, Ward comes to the house to warn them about possible water contamination, but Lavinia tells him to leave because she is not feeling well. Ward then notices Jack standing alone in the garden, laughing to himself. When Ward asks what he is doing, Jack says he is playing with his friends, which Ward finds it weird because there's no one else there. Later, Ward goes to see Ezra, who says his cat is missing. Ezra also claims that aliens are living under his floor and proves it by playing a recording filled with static and a sharp screech. Ward says the sounds are caused by geothermal activity, but Ezra insists the aliens came with the meteorite and are now everywhere, in the air, the water, and the static. That evening, Teresa and Nathan are driving home when they suddenly see a horrible creature on the road that looks like a twisted version of Ezra's cat. Nathan stops the car just in time, and the creature runs off into the dark. Teresa tries to call Lavinia to make sure everyone is okay, but Lavinia left her phone in the living room. Back at the farm, Jack and Sam are watching the well, which is now glowing and making loud screeching sound. Sam growls and then jumps at the well, and Jack only watches as the dog suddenly disappears. Inside the house, Lavinia tries to ignore the screeching noise. She leaves her room after hearing strange sounds coming from Benny's room. There, she sees Benny's computer showing disturbing images that make her feel sick. Suddenly, the computer shuts off, and Benny returns, saying he somehow got lost in the forest and could not find the house, even though he knows the area very well. Lavinia's phone starts ringing, and she rushes to answer it, but it is only static again. When Teresa and Nathan finally get home, they find Jack standing outside, stiff and silent. Nathan suddenly explodes with anger, yelling at Benny and Teresa. He cannot believe Jack was left alone outside, and he is furious that the alpacas are loose instead of being in the barn. Benny says he put them away many times, but Nathan does not believe him and takes the alpacas himself, calling for Sam to help. Sam does not come, and when Nathan asks where the dog is, Lavinia says that whatever came with the meteorite took him. Nathan refuses to believe this and snaps again, talking strangely and acting unstable. Later, Lavinia tells Benny that they need to leave the farm. That night, Jack sleeps with Teresa again and keeps drawing strange creatures in his notebook. Nathan goes to take a shower and notices a strange mark on his arm where his hair is falling out. When he looks down, he sees a strange blob blocking the drain. He picks it up, but it stings his hand, making him drop it so it escapes down the drain. After that, Nathan tells Teresa that the bad smell is still there, even though no one else can smell it. He says it reminds him of a cancer ward and wonders if it could be coming from Sam's body. Jack interrupts and calmly says Sam is with Grandpa now, even though their grandfather died many years ago. The next morning, Nathan is happy to see that all his fruits and vegetables are ready to harvest, much earlier than planned. Teresa tries to work online again, but the internet still does not work well. When she goes to ask Nathan to fix the dish, she finds him very angry, yelling because the vegetables taste awful. Confused by his behavior, Teresa decides to lie down and rest. Nathan goes back inside, sits in front of the TV, and starts drinking instead of fixing anything. He looks at his arm and sees the strange crust is still there, so he pours some whiskey on it, but it does nothing. Suddenly, the TV begins to glitch and fill the screen with bright, strange colors. That evening, Lavinia starts packing her things to leave the farm. When she finds her copy of the Necronomicon, she decides to perform a ritual to protect her family. The ritual needs her blood, so she cuts herself many times and ends up covered in wounds. Later, Jack wakes up after hearing the screeching sound. He walks into the living room and sees Nathan asleep in front of the TV, which is still showing glowing images. Jack then goes outside and joins Benny, and together they watch a strange light glowing above the farm. Suddenly, the brothers hear noises from the barn. When they go inside, they are horrified to see that all the alpacas have been merged into one huge and terrifying creature. The boys run away as Teresa rushes outside to see what is happening and grabs Jack. Benny manages to escape, but the glowing force strikes Teresa and Jack, merging them together into another terrifying creature. Nathan walks outside and, in a calm and empty tone, asks Benny to help him drag the creature into the house. They try calling 911, but the phone does not work. When Lavinia finally arrives, she screams in shock at what she sees. By morning, a thick purple fog surrounds the entire farm. Nathan tries to start the car, but it will not work, which makes him lose control again. Benny and Lavinia stay close to their mother, but the creature keeps crying in pain. They soon realize that sunlight burns its skin. When Nathan returns, he helps them move the creature into the attic. Suddenly, the screeching sound returns. Benny hears movement from the barn, so Nathan grabs his shotgun and goes to check. All the animals have fused into one massive monster, and Nathan is forced to shoot every alpaca head he sees to protect his family. Afterward, he breaks down, realizing his wife and son will never be normal again. A short time later, Nathan tells his children to leave the attic so he can end the creature's suffering. But when the moment comes, he cannot shoot something that still looks like Teresa. Instead, he kisses her, ignoring the thick slime covering her face. At the same time, Ward is at town hall trying to stop the dam project because of the contamination, but the mayor refuses to listen since she does not want to lose important deals. As Ward leaves, the sheriff calls him over and shows him many dead animals found near Nathan's farm. There are birds, rabbits, and even a cat, and Ward believes the wounds look like burns caused by radiation. That evening, Nathan sits in the living room again, watching the TV glow with strange colors. Outside, Benny and Lavinia try to saddle Comet so they can escape. The horse's eyes are now purple, and when it understands what they wanted to do, it panics. It pushes Lavinia away and runs off into the darkness. Moments later, Benny hears Sam whining from inside the well. Ignoring Lavinia's warnings, he decides to climb down to save the dog. A terrible smell fills the air, and at the bottom of the well, the color appears. It grabs Benny and absorbs him, leaving nothing behind. Lavinia barely has time to react before Nathan arrives, acting crazier than ever. He grabs Lavinia hard, drags her back into the house, yells at her for disobeying him, and locks her in the attic. Nathan then returns to the living room to watch the glowing TV, imagining that Teresa is sitting beside him and that their favorite movie is playing. In the attic, Lavinia discovers that Teresa and Jack have fully turned into a violent monster. Around the same time, Ward and the sheriff arrive at the farm. They see Nathan scratching his spreading rash and acting strangely. Suddenly, they hear Lavinia screaming. They rush upstairs and break down the attic door, finding the monster about to attack her. The sheriff hesitates, unable to shoot, but Nathan steps forward and fires first. He says that the thing is no longer his family and shoots again, killing both Teresa and Jack. Ward grabs Lavinia, now covered in pink blood, and tries to get her to his car. But huge beams of light rise from the well, blocking their path. Seeing this, Nathan lifts his shotgun to fire at the light. The sheriff thinks Nathan is aiming at Ward and shoots Nathan instead, killing him. Lavinia runs to her father's body as the sheriff tells her they must leave the house. Lavinia refuses, saying the color will not let them escape. At that moment, a loud screech comes from Ezra's house, so Ward and the sheriff go there to check on him. Inside, they hear a voice speaking, but it is not Ezra. It is a recording he made earlier. Ezra's body is dried out, and the recording explains that the color is trying to change Earth into a place like the world it came from. Ward notices strange movement on the security screens as the cameras shut off one by one. The sheriff then sees Ezra's forehead open and start glowing. Realizing another burst of color is coming, they try to leave the house. A twisted tree comes alive, grabs the sheriff, and kills him. Ward runs back to the farm and finds Lavinia standing near the wall, saying everything is beautiful. When she opens her eyes, they are purple, and her forehead glows as she shows Ward a vision of the color's home. It is a strange alien world filled with bright colors and tentacled beings. Terrified, Ward pushes Lavinia away to stop the vision and falls to the ground, where the grass is slowly turning into moving tendrils. The color begins breaking apart near the well, and Lavinia accepts the light, fading away as it surrounds her. Ward feels the color affecting his body too, and runs into the house. Inside, he sees a changed Nathan speaking in Lavinia's voice. In a flash of light, the rest of the family appears as well. Nathan attacks Ward to protect them, but Ward kicks him away and escapes into the wine cellar, locking the door behind him. He covers his ears as the screech grows louder and more painful. Upstairs, the bodies fall apart as the color explodes and destroys the house. After some time, Ward comes out of the cellar and sees everything covered in gray ash. The well is still standing, and Lavinia's compass lies on the ground. Years later, Ward still visits the area as part of the dam project that now covers the old farm. He keeps Lavinia's compass with him, but he never drinks the water from this place. Make sure to subscribe and turn on notifications so you don't miss the next video. Thanks for watching.